Rolling along on this Friday edition of the show. One of the stories we didn't get to cover because I wasn't on the air yesterday is the big story coming out of Jacksonville. Jaguar strength and conditioning coach Kevin Maxen coming out. He's thought to be the first openly gay male coach in major American men's pro sports. Cyd Zeigler is the founder of OutSports.com. He had the exclusive on it, was able to talk to Kevin. So we got Cyd on to get some thoughts from him and kind of tell us how this all came about, sort of. So, Cyd, we're basically at the start of NFL training camps here. Why did he make the decision to come out now?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, to give you a little backstory, Carl Nassib connected me with Kevin right around the Super Bowl in 2022. Kevin was living a secret life, certainly a secret from the Jaguars and the NFL, with his boyfriend, and it was getting frustrating for him. Over the last 18 months, it just has not panned out for him to come out. Like he felt like he was being stymied. Just things he was trying to do to make that happen weren't working. And 2 weeks ago, he just texted me and he said, I need to talk to you again. And when we talked, I said, listen, this is your story. You don't have to wait for anybody else. You get to tell it how you want to, when you want to. And I said, here's my suggestion was you do it. The rookie training camp starts Friday, the 21st or whatever today is. I said, do it that week. So the media responds, they get it out of the system and everybody moves on. I said, if you wait to the preseason or the season, I think that you invite some criticism, but doing it now, by the time the first season game starts, no one is talking about this anymore, and that is exactly what's going to happen.
What was it that most struck you in your conversation? I mean, you've talked to various people in these sorts of positions before. What is it about him that struck you as interesting?
Confidence. He's a very confident guy. When I talk to people who want to come out, I try to figure out if they're ready or not. And there have been a couple of times when I have told athletes in particular they have some work to do. There have been a number of times that I have suggested that they wait weeks or months, and I've given them some homework. Kevin didn't need any homework. He's been ready to do this for 18 months. He's a very confident guy. He loves his boyfriend. He loves his job. He knows he's good at his job. He knows he's well liked around the Jaguars organization. And that confidence is a big part of it. I also liked that he wanted to do this, get it out of the way, and move on. And just messaging with him today, he's like, I'm back to work. He said he's gotten hugs and congratulations from players and
Wow.
coaches, and he said he said the response has been, quote, out of this world. But he said everybody's like, that's awesome. We're so happy to have you here. Now let's go win a Super Bowl, because that is what the NFL is about.
Yeah, because I mean, look, there's the reaction that you think you might get in this sort of situation. You just never know, because people might like you as who they think you are versus how they're going to like you when they find out who you really are. And it sounds to me like you're saying from the reaction you've gotten from him, since this article came out yesterday, it's all been positive.
Look, it doesn't. If you cured cancer, there'd be idiots on Twitter or Instagram saying that you're putting people out of work, right? So forget that nonsense. Kevin said the response he has received, not just from the Jaguars, across the NFL, across the sports world, his personal network of players and coaches he's worked with. Remember, he's worked at Baylor and Vanderbilt and Army and the University of Iowa. Also is his home state of Connecticut. He has been overwhelmed. And Jason, I've got to tell you, this is what OutSports has preached for years. Sports world has changed. Gone are the days where homophobia is a dominant attitude in even football. It's over. And I'm so thankful that people like Kevin have trusted me. I mean, he put a lot of trust in what I was telling him would happen. And literally, it's gone down exactly as I scripted it. Frankly, It has for the last 24 hours.
Cyd Zeigler with OutSports.com does a terrific job. Spoke with Kevin Maxen, who's the Jaguars strength and conditioning coach, who came out in an article yesterday exclusively on OutSports. We're several years out from Michael Sam, Jason Collins in the NBA, Carl Nassib now even a few years removed from that, White Sox minor league pitcher Anderson Comas, Luke Prokop, who's under an NHL contract. When do you think stories about gay male professional athletes or athletes in professional sports that are gay males, when does it stop being a story?
Well, let's look at women's sports. 2005, Cheryl Swoops came out. She's one of the biggest stars in the history of women's basketball. It was a big story. Elena Deladon came out in 2016. Big story. She was one of the biggest stars in the WNBA. There have been over time, women in women's sports who are just out, and they're just sharing images of their girlfriend on Instagram, and nobody even realizes it. And then there are, justifiably big stars who come out. Where are we with men's sports? I think we're about where the women's sports were in 2005. There's going to be a story, and it's going to be interesting whenever somebody comes out, because it's still so rare. There's only one out player in all the big five men's sports and only one out coach, and they're both in the NFL. Think about that, Jason.
It's crazy.
The most powerful cultural institution in America is the NFL. It is the gatekeeper of masculinity. The only out player and only out coach are in the NFL. Could you have ever imagined that?
Nope. You can't make it up. I 100% agree with you on that. Then what allows because we have to know there are tons of guys between all the major professional sports. There's got to be tons of guys. I mean, hundreds. I mean, who knows what the actual number is that are sitting there saying, all right, can I do this? What's ultimately holding them back? What's keeping the sort of floodgates from opening? I was an idiot that thought, hey, Michael Sam or Jason Collins or even Carl Nassib was going to open up the floodgate. And I think it might be people like you that have told me I'm crazy if I think that's the case. I don't know. Somebody I'm sure has told me that in the past. What's keeping the floodgates from opening and it just becoming something where everybody's comfortable in that position?
Sure. Well, again, let's look at women's sports. The WNBA is about 25% publicly out. That's not including the women who aren't out. About a quarter of the WNBA players are publicly out. No reasonable person thinks that any of the men's four leagues have 25% LGBTQ players. And my theory is that in women's sports, the percentage of players who are LGBTQ is much higher than the average in the population. And my guess is in the men's leagues, it's lower. Now, if it's instead of being 5%, it's 1%. Over the five major sports leagues, there are about 4,000 athletes. That means that there's about 40 who are LGBTQ. If maybe with bisexual, it's more than that. Let's say it's 100. I tell people all the time, the only way to get more people to come out is for more people to come out, because it's only through seeing Carl Nassib and Kevin Maxen. And that's, again, why it was so important to get that story up today from Kevin, saying this response has been unbelievably positive, showing more men this, showing them that it's going to be okay, that you're not going to get fired. And I'll tell you the other dynamic that nobody talks about, Jason, with the players are the agents. I know for a fact that there are agents telling athletes to stay in the closet. I know this for a fact.
Wow.
So, and nobody talks about that. Agents have, on average in the NFL, a 3.5-year window to make as much money as they can from their client. And they fail to see what people like Mark Cuban and I see, that when athletes come out, opportunities are going to open up to them. So we talk about the NFL and what they're doing. I think the agents are a huge barrier to athletes coming out.
That's Cyd Zeigler, co-founder, founder, OutSports.com, does a terrific job over there, has for years, and glad we can get you on for a few minutes. And congratulations on the exclusive. Well done, sir.
Hey, congrats to Kevin and the Jaguars and the NFL. It's awesome to see.